Hi guys, it's Mark Zicree, Mr. Sci-Fi, also known as Mark Zicree of Space Command. And we're up to a lot. We're shooting Space Command. We're getting ready to do the table read of Sweet Haven. We're lots of stuff coming down the pike, working on the Green Lighting Yourself book. If you want to buy Space Command shares, I would strongly urge you to buy them as soon as possible, because once the show sells, we won't be selling them anymore. It's $7,500 each. Most people buy more than one, and you can contact me at markzicree@gmail.com. It goes to Space Command. It allows us to shoot and finish stuff and get it to you. Okay, so I and my little mini-me here, my Mark Zicree Doob figure, which is terrific, in his Space Command jacket and his Space Command shirt, we want to talk about Raised by Wolves. Now, that's a new science fiction show done by Ridley Scott on HBO, and it seemed to have a lot of promise because, when it comes to replicants, Ridley Scott is the guy, whether it's Alien or, Blade Runner, or even Heaven Help Us Prometheus or Alien Covenant. He's done a lot with replicants and androids and so forth. So here's the basic notion of the show. It's an alien planet. Humanity was involved in a war between believers in a god, Saul, these were the Mithraics, and the atheists, and Earth was pretty much destroyed, and the Mithraics left in a big space ark, and a couple basically killed two of the Mithraics, and via plastic surgery impersonated them to get on the ship, but then they have to become the parent to the little kid who was those people's parent, those people's kid. And meantime, two androids have been sent to this planet ahead of time with some embryos to build into children. And this was the atheist side of the coin, so they're teaching them atheism. Okay, so, all right. The actors are very good, particularly the actress who plays Mother, and the actor and actress who play the imposters with the Mithraics. The kids are good, but there's a lot wacky with the show. Now, it says spoilers on the title of this, if I remember to put spoilers, because I'm going to spoil this. But it was already spoiled when I got there. So I think a little overripe. The actress who plays Mother is very, very good. Even the actor who plays Father is very good. Everyone's working hard, and the visual effects are strong, though they have used certain shots from Prometheus and kind of rejiggered them. Where to start? Okay, here's the problem. Several problems. First of all, the show suffers from a total wackiness. I found it entertaining, I found it interesting, but it just goes all over the place, and not in a good way. Because a good way, if you look at something like Dune, for instance, not the Denis Villeneuve movie that's coming, I hope it's great, but if you look at Blade Runner, if you look at Dune, if you look at really good science fiction, like the things behind me, they've really thought out the world, they've thought out the history, they've thought everything out so it is cohesive and coherent. And they just haven't done that with this show. So, for instance, in one of the novels of The Expanse, which I like, they have them colonizing a world where you can't eat anything on the planet. The living creatures are wired a different way, and you just can't digest them. And there's all these things that are dangerous for humans. And it was like, it's an ecosystem that at least they worked out and found a scientific rationale for how that would work. But here, there's nothing to eat on this planet initially for these kids except this crop they grow, which turns out to be radioactive, which kills all but one of the kids. And then they find these creatures that you can kill them and you can eat them, but we don't know what their deal is. And then, they find a fungus that those creatures eat that humans can eat. But it's like, well, wait a minute. Any ecosystem is going to be much more complicated than that, because every ecosystem, if there's life, is going to have microbes, it's going to have small little creatures, it's going to have big creatures, it's going to have a food chain, and so this world is extremely underpopulated in terms of the ecosystem. It doesn't make sense. There's no world that would be that limited. I mean, even if you go into the desert on Earth, even if you go into the Arctic on Earth, you'll find a wide variety of living creatures. So, so there's that. Then it's like, okay, this war between the Mithraics and the atheists, okay, that kind of makes sense. The fact that there's androids who are kind of just walking around taking care of stuff, and then androids who can turn sort of into flying war machines. That's kind of cool. Okay, and she kills people with shouts, and she has freeze breath or whatever the hell, or vision. Oh, God, takes her eyes in and out. Fine. All fine. But the challenge is it gets to this weird pregnancy at the end of first season, and we start to go, oh, alien, we've been here before. And it's just, first of all, it's loopy that no one suspects that anything untoward is happening. There's supposed to be this wonderful new, better human, which, it's very suspicious how fast it grows, how it grows, what it feeds on. All very suspicious. And then, by God, it turns out to be, a flying snake, of course. And it's like, what? And it's like, and then the two androids take their ship to destroy it by going into the molten core of the planet, but somehow they come out the other side of the planet, and they're not, their ship isn't destroyed, they aren't destroyed. Sort of like, you sort of think they might sort of know the tolerances of their ship and themselves, because they're flying this damn thing, and I just can't buy a ship being able to go through a molten core of a planet, particularly as they start to burn up before they go through the molten core. Just total wackiness, and it's going all over the place. And it just is just, and then there's something talking to some of the characters and driving them crazy, and they've probably figured out what season 2 is going to have in it, but there always comes a point where you're either engaged and engrossed by the details and the world building, or you just go, okay, they've thrown the kitchen sink at me and I'm trying to duck and I just don't want another kitchen sink thrown. You either are engaged and engrossed or you bail. And with Raised by Wolves, it's just, I sort of feel that they're kind of, I was going to say making it up as they go along. I don't know if that's accurate or true, but it definitely is kind of, again, a big beef I have with Prometheus, which is a gorgeous movie, and I urge you to watch it with the sound off, which I do often. There's that snake thing that comes up, that gray snake thing, and the guy's going, pretty, 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 and everyone in the audience is going, give me a break. And then it kills him. Of course it kills him. It's sort of like that with this pregnant flying snake thing. It's just like, man, come on. This is not how people would actually act. This makes no sense at all. So anyway, so that's some of it. If you love Raised by Wolves, that's fine. I'm perfectly happy with other people loving what I don't love. I wish it were better. I could certainly make it better if I were working on it. Not to be egotistical, but it's like, so many of these science fiction shows that are on nowadays are half-baked. And that doesn't mean that there weren't bad shows, in the 60s and 70s and 80s. There certainly were. But the shows that last, the ones that are great, have a quality to them and a consistency to them and things that make them worth watching. And there's so much content now that it's so easy for stuff just to be, they cook it up, they serve it on a plate, whatever it is. And, so I wish Raised by Wolves were better. Westworld has certainly gone south in its second and third seasons. I'm very disappointed in that. I'm looking for the next great show that I can just love unreservedly. Having a great time making Space Command. Looking forward very much to making Sweet Haven and the other shows I'm working on on the Showrunners Network, which I'll be talking about very soon. And again, this is not sour grapes. There are many shows that I have not worked on that I do love. I loved the first season of Westworld. I thought that Picard had possibilities. I really would have loved to have seen the show with Seven of Nine as a bounty hunter. I think she's a terrific actress. There's a lot of great stuff. And Black Mirror, if you can not, take a bath with a toaster watching it, it's very depressing often, but it's definitely a show with brilliance. So, anyway, that's some of it. Much more to come, including my video on the greatest British science fiction writer you've probably never heard of, and lots of other stuff. So we'll talk soon, and thanks again for everything. Bye, guys.